Hello and a very warm welcome. Thanks for tuning in to News 9 Live. We are talking about targeting terror in Kashmir, albeit with a nuanced perspective. Because it's usually in films and gun battle-based video games that one gets a chance to see cool equipment and next-generation firepower. But with the Central Reserve Police Force's VALLEY Quick Action Team, our forces have turned a new leaf in the domain of security in the Kashmir Valley. But at the same time, the stakes are high and the danger is more than just real. Over the past several years, there has been a remarkable improvement in the situation in the valley. The days of stone pelting and law and order demonstrations have become negligible. Schools and markets don't shut down anymore. Strikes have become a thing of the past. And that's not all. The unit called VALLEY Quick Action Team of the CRPF has successfully battled terrorists, busted modules and tackled major encounters efficiently. Today, we look at News 9 Plus's documentary series on CRPF's elite commando unit, the VALLEY Quick Action Team, that descended into the J&K Valley in the year 2016, facing a two-headed monster, civilian unrest and terrorism. What's the situation 7 years down the line? Well, we'll talk about it in just a bit. First, here's a snippet. Take a look.
Carry on, sir.
हमें हमेशा अलर्ट रहना होता है।
312, basically a march.
मतलब 24/7।
बुलेट और बम कहीं से भी आ सकती है।
हमारा मकसद आतंकवाद को जड़ से उखाड़ना है। ऐसी परिस्थितियों में डर तो सबको लगता है,
लेकिन अगर हम डर गए
तो टेररिस्ट को कौन डराएगा?
Today shops are open, there's no shutdown or hartal, and the tricolor is flying high right behind me at the historic clock tower. I'm standing at the Lal Chowk, which was once considered the epicenter of unrest in the Kashmir Valley. This change hasn't been easy. The CRPF's VALLEY Quick Action Team is now marking a new chapter in the history of Jammu and Kashmir.
I'm Charu Sinha, IPS, IG Srinagar Sector CRPF, and I am the first woman police officer to ever head any sector in the Kashmir Valley in CRPF. In the year 2010, the VALLEY QAT came into existence. In 2016, it started getting into operations. And by operations, I mean anti-terrorist operations in Srinagar city.
जैसा कि आप जानते हैं कि 2016 वो दौर था जिसे बुरहान वानी का दौर बोला जाता है। टेररिज्म ग्लैमराइज हो रहा था सोशल मीडिया पे। लोग हथियार उठाते थे, हथियार उठा करके उसको सोशल मीडिया पे शेयर करते थे। इस दौर में घाटी ने वो दिन देखे हैं जब बहुत ही गंदे तरीके से लॉ एंड ऑर्डर इश्यूज, पत्थरबाजी, गाड़ियों पे आग लगा देना, ये सब चीजें हुआ और इसको साथ के साथ सपोर्ट किया था टेररिज्म ने।
There were so many sporadic incidents happening around the city at that point of time that the local forces which were deployed were not enough.
तो उसके लिए जब शहरी क्षेत्र में अब आपको जब काम करना पड़ता है तो आपको मिनिमम कोलेटरल डैमेज के साथ कार्य करना है। खतरनाक अगर कोई ऑपरेशन होता है जिसमें सबसे ज्यादा रिस्क है, मोस्ट रिस्की, दैट इज रूम इंटरवेंशन। And this VALLEY QAT has created an expertise in room intervention.
Whether it is equipment like a corner shotgun or anti-material gun, anything and everything which right now is required, the VALLEY QAT has it.
How's the जोश? हमारे कमांडोज लेवल 4 प्रोटेक्शन वाला हेलमेट और बीपी जैकेट पहनते हैं। इसमें हम नाइट विजन मोनोकुलर डिवाइस माउंट रखते हैं जो कि हमें दिन और रात में देखने और सटीक निशाना लगाने की क्षमता प्रदान करती है। इसके अलावा हमारे पास है गन शॉट लोकेटर। हमारा प्राइमरी वेपन है AK-47 जिसमें हमने एडवांस मॉडिफिकेशन किट लगा रखी है इसमें हमने 640 अर्जुन थर्मल इमेजर साइट भी माउंट कर रखी है, जो कि हमें रात में भी सटीक निशाना लगा करके दुश्मन को बर्बाद करने की क्षमता प्रदान करती है। इसके अलावा हमारा सेकेंडरी वेपन है ग्लॉक 19 पिस्टल, हमारे हिंदुस्तान में बनी हुई एंटी मटेरियल राइफल विध्वंसक। अर्बन वारफेयर के दौरान अगर कहीं पर भी आतंकवादी किसी कंक्रीट या स्टील की दीवार के पीछे छुप जाते हैं तो हम इस राइफल का इस्तेमाल करते हुए उसको बर्बाद करते हैं।
Now you can download the News 9 Plus application. It's on the Google Play Store and the Apple App Store as well. But to talk more about the Valley Quick Action Team of the Central Reserve Police Force, joining me in the studio is the man behind the documentary, Aditya Raj Kaul, Executive Editor, Strategic Affairs for News 9 Plus. And also joining us on the broadcast for an expert voice is Dr. A.P. Maheshwari, former DG of the CRPF. A very warm welcome on the broadcast to you, sir, as well. Aditya, you know, it was really moving to see this documentary. It's got a patriotic flavor as well. How successful has the Valley Quick Action Team been? You know, why did you think of making a documentary on them?
Well, firstly, CRPF VALLEY QAT has had a very significant role over the last many years. 2016 was known as the year of Burhan Wani in Kashmir. He became the poster boy of terrorism and violence in the Kashmir Valley. Even though Burhan Wani himself had not led even a single terror attack, he had not killed perhaps even a single person, but his charisma, his face, and the Pakistan ISI's propaganda and the radicals' involvement on social media led to him being created into a social media star and a poster boy. Because of Burhan Wani's death, there was a massive recruitment also that happened in Srinagar, Pulwama, and other neighboring areas as well. So Valley QAT has been in action ever since 2016. They've had a killing strike rate of 78 in about 42 operations, which is massive. They've won almost each and every significant award that is there, including Shaurya Chakra as well as Kirti Chakra. So, you know, it's interesting how CRPF has built this elite commando force, you know, in short amount of time and with not many immense amount of resources coming in from the central pool. Usually, you know, Army or the NSG or such elite forces are known for the commandos. But here is the CRPF, which has a large number of CRPF Valley QAT commandos in Srinagar, active all across. And whenever there is an operation, you know, the usual drill is that the intelligence is mostly received by the J&K police or sometimes by the Army and the CRPF. And then a joint operation is launched by the Army, J&K police and the CRPF all across Kashmir. But Srinagar is different. In Srinagar, there is no presence of Indian Army. Indian Army cannot operate in any of the operations in Srinagar. So that's why CRPF Valley QAT's role is much more significant in Srinagar. So Jammu and Kashmir SOG, which is the Special Operations Group, along with the Valley QAT of the CRPF, launch each and every operation. They've had many significant operations, including one in Bishambar Nagar in Rainawari, in which a terrorist was killed. We know inside one of the Mughal gardens last year, there was a terrorist who was killed at a very close range. So CRPF Valley QAT is you know, immensely important for eradicating terrorism and radicalization from Kashmir. And perhaps it is required that even other districts of Kashmir need to have a similar force like the CRPF QAT.
Absolutely. Let's also go for an expert opinion to the former DG of the Central Reserve Police Force. Dr. Maheshwari, how successful do you think units like the Valley QAT have been, you know, able to curb radicalization in the valley? Your viewpoint on that, sir?
Now, in order to understand the functioning of CRPF and the QAT, let me explain for the benefit of everybody that this force has the experience of over 83 years. And it has the experience, varied experience, of dealing with counterinsurgency and terrorism in Northeast, in Punjab, and even in J&K, right from 1990 when the problem arose. So because of its huge experience, the force has developed a culture of mixing up with the local people. And it merges with the local people. It is at the art of segregating terrorist elements from the local people. So when it merges with the local people, through its civic action programs and other means, it is able to dissolve those radical mindsets and take the people along. And that is one of the strengths of CRPF. Besides that, it has developed its own expertise as a fighting force and as a single designated counterinsurgency force. of the country. That is what I would like to add at this stage.
Absolutely. And Dr. Maheshwari, also looking at the Valley Quick Action Team, what do you think is special about this team, and can its training regimen, I mean, we were just looking at those visuals, they go through some gruesome training drills as well, quick entering and action. Can that become a blueprint for CRPF units across the nation?
There are two things involved. Number one, yes, the people who are selected for this team, they are quick in their responses mentally as well as physically. They are reflexive. They are well equipped, well trained. They are highly motivated people and well selected for the purpose, and they are loyal. So these are the important factors important for any force which is into quick actions in a high risk theater. So all these people are well selected. Now, on the other question of replicating it, let me tell you that all parts of the country have different theaters, and we have the different tactics like action against Maoist violence, the Northeast insurgencies. All these places have different features depending upon the adversary, depending upon the local environment, depending upon the type of people who are there. So many factors are responsible for strategizing the action against the adversary. What I mean to say is that a blind replication of the Kashmir model may not succeed in the jungle warfare. So we have Cobra, another specialist force in CRPF, which deals with jungle warfare, even in the Northeast. But yes, we do copy the good practices of all the Kuwaitis, and the many good practices of Kashmir Kuwaiti has also been replicated elsewhere. And not that Kuwaiti has of Kashmir has come that way. The CRPF has had, as I said, has a huge experience behind it. And because of that experience, when the Kuwaiti was formed, then CRPF was ready with so many things besides the equipment and the training, the way, marination of the force to deal with various situations, that was responsible for it.
Well, fair enough. Some interesting points coming there from Dr. Maheshwari. And, he's right when he points out that radicalization in the people will only be, will only diminish once the forces then intermingle with the local population as well. In the documentary, Aditya, there's this part where a woman soldier of the unit talks about how this little girl walks up to her and then, looks at the Indian flag and salutes it. Really says a lot about the patriotic flavor of the documentary as well. But taking a look at a post-abrogation of Article 370 scenario, what are some of the challenges that the QAT is facing in particular?
See, prior to Article 370, there was continuous terrorism, there were encounters that were going on, and there were these terror attacks that were underway. Small-scale attacks as well as big-scale attacks. So one of the major attacks that we know in the recent public memory is the Pulwama terror attack that happened. And even prior to that, we have had significant attacks where particularly the J&K police and the CRPF were under attack in Srinagar, Pulwama, in Baramulla and several other areas of the Kashmir Valley. Article 370, as we all know, was a significant historic step that the government took to bring in Jammu and Kashmir closer to New Delhi, and all the central rules that were applicable all across the country are now equally applicable in Jammu and Kashmir as well. So one of the significant aspects has been, if we compare the statistics of violence and terrorism of last 5 years, last 4 years, with the previous 4 years, then you will see a significant dip in violence, terrorism, encounters, and even infiltration as well as recruitment. You see, whenever a significant terrorist was eliminated and killed, the entire janaza or the funeral that used to happen, unfortunately became also a camp for recruitment. So every time a big terrorist or a commander was killed, there were at least 10 to 15 young teenagers or boys who were recruited into terrorism. That policy was completely ended by the government. Only the family members and the close family members of terrorists were allowed to do the funeral, that too in a particular area in North Kashmir, not elsewhere. Apart from that, post 370, we've had, as I said, a significant dip in violence. There are less number of encounters that are happening. There is significant drop in infiltration also. We can also say that it's not just 370, it's also Pakistan that has been under tremendous pressure economically, politically and otherwise, and that's why they're not able to pump in as many resources and money into cross-border terrorism or proxy war. But 370 has changed the discourse completely. 370 has brought a paradigm shift in Kashmir, both externally and internally, and I would say this would certainly go a long way. In any conflict, things do not change overnight. It's just been close to 4 years now. And I think in the next few years, there will be a significant shift. But CRPF has certainly played a very crucial role. And I would emphasize that CRPF hasn't got the kind of credit that it should till now. And that's why we thought here at News 9 Plus that the first documentary of a special series, which is on the special forces all across the country, we'll travel with the NSG, we'll travel with the Indian Army, we'll travel even with the Delhi Police and Mumbai Police to see how their elite force works. But the first force that came to my mind was the CRPF VALLEY QAT, because they have had a massive contribution, but a silent contribution that hasn't really got the credit, be it institutionally or by the media.
Absolutely. Just a small bit by News 9 Plus to really pay homage and the respect the CRPF and its elite unit rightly deserves. Dr. Maheshwari, talking about the terror ecosystem, in the documentary as well, we've showcased how, what the journey has been since 2016, what used to happen and what the situation is like right now. Now, even as the terror ecosystem is not as strong as what it used to be, what more needs to be done on the ground? Give us a sense about that.
Okay, now adding to what has been said till now, CRPF has been collaborating with various agencies. It is, the QAT is a surgical team. It's a surgical team. It has a precision and the speed to do the job when it is required to do without losing the opportunity. That is good. But at the back of it, many agencies are working, and it is the collaborative effort, not only of the enforcement agencies, the law enforcement agencies, but also the developmental agencies. That should not be forgotten. So whatever has happened in the recent year, it is a collaborative effort. So CRPF has the flexibility. What more needs to be done is that not only the developmental agency should do more work to stabilize the situation, and now, at the same time, the forces which are working like CRPF, they should also take community-oriented actions. As I said, QAT is required only for surgical operations. That should continue. But there is a whole backup of other units of CRPF which are creating a conducive situation for everything. So de-radicalization, taking the youth along, even the there are many policies which we follow, even the recruitment in the forces, even taking the people for a tour to rest of the India, just to let them know so that their perceptions are rightly placed. So de-radicalization is dissolved when you create a positive perception through development, through right approach of the forces, that they are friends of the people and not otherwise. That all these perceptions need to be changed. And CRPF, I am very happy that is working towards this aim. And the CRPF has shown that it's a very collaborative force, highly flexible. It is neutral. And number two, its motto of service and loyalty, it has stood up to that. And let me tell you that is the force, though, was created in the British time, but it was re-Christianized by a person of the stature of Sardar Patel, the Iron Man of India. And I must say that they have lived up to the expectations of the Iron Man. And insofar as the specific questions, coming closer to the people, emerging as a people-friendly force, that is the motto, and that should be carried forward. In fact, when we talk about the present scenario, the golden statement, which was made long years back by one of the professional cop, it still holds good, that every citizen is a cop without uniform, and every cop is a citizen in uniform. So the wordings are important as a philosophy, but that should be followed more and more. As we come closer to the people, we create a combined synergy. The thing should work well, and then it will de-link. Whosoever may try to, infuse into the system, try to break us apart, it will not happen if people are together and we go ahead with a complete synergy. Thank you.
Well, absolutely. Great words of encouragement there by Dr. Maheshwari. You know what, Aditya? You were telling us about this series on special forces, that you're going to go with the NSG next, with also the Delhi Police and the Mumbai Police. What is going to happen next?
Well, I can't reveal what is going to happen next. I can only motivate the viewers to, log into News 9 Plus either on the website or download the app on App Store or Google And you will get not only the special series, but significant documentaries from foreign policy to national security to politics to even sports and business as well. And these are small snippets from 9 minutes to 15 minutes that you will really enjoy watching with international quality and the exact precise information that you want. As I said, Kabir Special will travel all across the country. We'll travel with the Greyhounds. We'll travel with the Cobra, as was suggested by Dr. Maheshwari. Not just CRPF, but the NSG, the Indian Army Elite Unit Special Forces, and apart from that, also the Delhi Police, Mumbai Police, and significant other anti-terror forces and elite commando forces in the country. It's important to narrate the story of their valor, narrate the story of their, immense work.
And it's interesting that you said that, they're doing the hard work, but it's all silent work. And on that note, let's quickly take a look at another snippet of the documentary, Kashmir's VALLEY QAT, CRPF's elite commando unit. What does it do? What kind of equipment it uses? What kind of training regimen does it go through? It's all on the application. Here's a snippet. Take a look.
Carry on, sir.
हमें हमेशा अलर्ट रहना होता है।
312, position के लिए march.
मतलब 24/7।
बुलेट और बम कहीं से भी आ सकती है।
हमारा मकसद आतंकवाद को जड़ से उखाड़ना। ऐसी परिस्थितियों में डर तो सबको लगता है,
लेकिन अगर हम डर गए
तो टेररिस्ट को कौन डराएगा?
Today, shops are open, there's no shutdown or hartal, and the tricolor is flying high right behind me at the historic clock tower. I'm standing at the Lal Chowk, which was once considered the epicenter of unrest in the Kashmir Valley. This change hasn't been easy. The CRPF's Valley Quick Action Team is now marking a new chapter in the history of Jammu and Kashmir.
I'm Charusena, IPS, IG Srinagar Sector CRPF, and I am the first woman police officer to ever head any sector in the Kashmir Valley in CRPF. In the year 2010, the Valley QAT came into existence. In 2016, it started getting into operations. And by operations, I mean anti-terrorist operations in Srinagar city.
जैसा कि आप जानते हैं कि 2016 वो दौर था जिसे बुरहान वानी का दौर बोला जाता है। टेररिज्म ग्लैमराइज हो रहा था सोशल मीडिया पे। लोग हथियार उठाते थे, हथियार उठा करके उसको सोशल मीडिया पे शेयर करते थे। इस दौर में घाटी ने वो दिन देखे हैं जब बहुत ही गंदे तरीके से लॉ एंड ऑर्डर इश्यूज, पत्थरबाजी, गाड़ियों पे आग लगा देना, ये सब चीजें हुआ, और इसको साथ के साथ सपोर्ट किया था टेररिज्म ने।
There were so many sporadic incidents happening around the city at that point of time that the local forces which were deployed were not enough.
तो उसके लिए जब शहरी क्षेत्र में अब आपको जब काम करना पड़ता है तो आपको मिनिमम कोलेटरल डैमेज के साथ कार्य करना है। खतरनाक अगर कोई ऑपरेशन होता है जिसमें सबसे ज्यादा रिस्क है, मोस्ट रिस्की, दैट इज रूम इंटरवेंशन। And this Valley QAT has created an expertise in room intervention.
Whether it is equipment like a corner shotgun or anti-material gun, anything and everything which right now is required, the Valley QAT has it.
How's the Josh? हमारे कमांडोज लेवल 4 प्रोटेक्शन वाला हेलमेट और बीपी जैकेट पहनते हैं। इसमें हम नाइट विजन मोनोकुलर डिवाइस माउंट रखते हैं, जो कि हमें दिन और रात में देखने और सटीक निशाना लगाने की क्षमता प्रदान करती है। इसके अलावा हमारे पास है गन शॉट लोकेटर। हमारा प्राइमरी वेपन है AK-47, जिसमें हमने एडवांस मॉडिफिकेशन किट लगा रखी है। इसमें हमने 640 अर्जुन थर्मल इमेजर साइड भी माउंट कर रखी है, जो कि हमें रात में भी सटीक निशाना लगा करके दुश्मन को बर्बाद करने की क्षमता प्रदान करती है। इसके अलावा हमारा सेकेंडरी वेपन है ग्लॉक 19 पिस्टल, हमारे हिंदुस्तान में बनी हुई एंटी मटेरियल राइफल विध्वंसक। अर्बन वारफेयर के दौरान अगर कहीं पर भी आतंकवादी किसी कंक्रीट या स्टील की दीवार के पीछे छुप जाते हैं तो हम इस राइफल का इस्तेमाल करते हुए उसको बर्बाद करते हैं।
Well, on that note, it's time for me to wrap up this discussion. Dr. A.P. Maheshwari, former DG CRPF, it was a pleasure to have you with us for your insightful inputs. And of course, Aditya, many thanks for joining me here in the studio. I am excited about what's going to come next in this special series. This is what kind of cool weaponry, what kind of cool gizmos and gadgets these forces are going to use. And the training regimen is also of great significance and really intrigues me as well. Best of luck for the series that's going to come. And for this particular series, VALLEY QAT, you can download the application News 9 Plus for more in-depth analysis and cutting-edge documentaries. That's all the time we have for you in this edition. Keep watching News 9 Live.